In this video, I want to introduce aggregate functions. The most common ones are going to be count, max, min, average, and sum. And how they're used is, for instance, I want to count how many records are in the books table. I can just say select count star from books. And when I run that, I'll get one number. All right, I don't get back a series of records like we've done in previous videos, but we're just getting one number which represents how many books are in the books table. Now, of course, you can still add a where clause. So in this case, I want to count star from books, but I put in a where clause that says I want the category to equal computer. Recall, how do these statements process? That starts with the from. What table am I looking at? The second thing that processes is your where clause. Eliminate all rows that don't meet this criteria. And then finally, we'll do a count. So in this case, I'm just counting how many books are in the computer category. And my answer is 4. All right, so if I want to know, well, what is the least expensive book in terms of the cost column? I can just say select min. And that'll give me the number. 532 is the least expensive book. Something interesting about min and max is they can work with numbers, obviously, what's the smallest and largest number, but they also work with dates, right? So of all the functions, we got sum, average, min, max, and count. Min and max will work with two different data types, dates and numbers, whereas sum and average will, of course, only work with numbers. So we have an order date column inside the orders table. What's the most recent order? I would use the max. If I wanted to know what's our oldest order, I would use the min. In that case, I just switched it out to min, and so it's 29331. The sum function does, as you'd imagine, it's going to add up all the numbers in a column. And so in this case, I'm saying, well, I want to sum the cost of all the books where the profit is greater than 20. And remember, in our books table, we have a retail column and a cost column. If I subtract those two, retail minus cost, that tells me my profit on that book. So I want where that math is greater than 20, and whatever is left over, I will now sum to get the cost, the sum of the cost. So in that case, our sum of our cost is 164.45. The last thing I'll mention on the aggregate function is I've demonstrated count star. Well, you can also say count and then put in a column name, and they are treated just a little bit differently. So for instance, if I say count star from orders, I'll get 21 records. But if I count a particular column, like ship date, from that same table, all of a sudden I don't get 21 records, I get 15. Well, the difference is the ship date column has some null values in it. All right. So when you count a column, put a column name in here, it will go through and count all the records that do not have null values. And so in this case, that's why we're getting 15. Yet when I say count star, it's just counting every record that got returned. So to demonstrate that again, let's take a look at the books table. If I run over here and show you the data in the books table, recognize that the discount column has a lot of null values with just a few numbers in it. And so now running over to here, if I say count star and count discount from books with a category equal computer, I'm going to get two different numbers. Oops, I got an error because I have a comma right there. So get rid of that comma, run it again, and I get two different numbers. How many books are in the books category? Well, or in the computer category, there's 4. How many of those computer books have a discount? Only 1. The rest have null values. So just be aware of what you're doing when you say count star versus count with a column name. Now, obviously, a lot of times students will put the primary key column in here. So in this case, ISBN. And then you're going to get the same result as count star because primary key never has a null value in it by definition. And the other thing this exercise right here kind of demonstrates is that you can have more than one aggregate function in a select statement. So I could even add right here with comma max retail. So now basically I'm answering 3 questions with this one query. How many books do we have in the computer category? how many of those books have some sort of discount, and what is the max retail price of those 4 books. So by selecting that, here's my 4 books, one with a discount, and the max retail price is $75.95. Also, our column headings obviously are just a reflection of what we typed in our select. So this is a good time to start using your aliases. And I won't fill out the rest, but you get the idea. Is I don't know if I want to see count star, count discount, and max retail. I'd rather have some decent column headings up there. So as we use aggregate functions, it'll be also a time to start aliasing your columns with the meaning of the data that's being returned. Now in the next video, we're going to ask the question, what if I wanted to know, for instance, how many books I have in each category, not just computer. All right, now we're going to have to get into what's called the group by clause. So we'll cover that in the next video.